I'm going to, what a surprise, I'm going to read a poem. This is a book called Uncertain Micropolitics in Pirate Utopias. It's book, it's chapter 12 in the overall run of the Book of Uncertain, a Hyperbiographical Usual Manual. This is the second poem in book 2. I'm working my way backwards towards the beginning. We'll end at the beginning. It has an epigraph. What a surprise. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Uncertain micropolitics in pirate utopias. Difficulty increases as politics enters random fray to reach lower orders of human compulsions. Typhonic energy eruptions dismember seas' knowledge of time. When a gun skitters across asphalt from another poem, disappears into multitudinous imagination of some other way than war hunger, where physics of psyche etches formulas of potential healing not to be confused with dictates of closure. Nestled in high-woven branches above the sea, mourning doves articulate mourning. An unanticipated homonym illustrates slippage, leads to renewal of dead memories. Fixed traps immobilize the soul in petrified formations of genuine imitation satisfaction, slipping in lower taxes claim to final metaphysical virtue. Dream-fulfilled images manufactured in imaginary studios to stop our ultimate tropological orientation, leaving her to indignities derived from textbooks of colonial administration, brings politics directly into purview's awkward installation. Then, memory's theater, subjected to cutbacks and efficiencies, always profitable interest, is occupied by tattered remnants of celluloid animations transformed angelic superheroes. The shtick a further sign we are not where we think we are. Bringing us, inter alia, to collections of lewd and ill-disposed persons associated with depredations of the immense fellowship of the human species and or petty bourgeois adventurers to be lined up and called frank in the name of perfection's horror disguised as tropological union. The third, Jack called it, shall be the human race, a sure sign of paralytic seizures in the infinite series of modal oscillations preferred by pirates, along with the assignation of new ends and further selves gathered at Tortuga to hash out our next move. Hashing out our next move is jostled aside by spring stubble glisten on a fresh page, yields old stories' unfinished destination, and recollections of to habit is defunct, though dwelling remains its fact in possession of to give or receive, as if the difference dissolves in the act of characteristic attire. The unspeakable girl's burst tomb. Move over, Jesus. Her raiment brooks no rude intercession, sees with micro-political inference of hellish mystery. In alien embrace with seduction's permeable conservative transfer, renegados, micro-histories of insurrectionary drive told in piratological excursus, where cellular political poetics and self's error returns from whence some nether region, all clean and neat, lined with bankers in orderly verifiable postures, are perfectly willing to lend it wherever it needs to feed the next scam. Image rushes before cool air moves in from the north, atmospheric shift into monstrous clutch, perfection's seduction, unleashed micro-cruelties, every glance a judgment in advance, a further backward order's cinch. Perpetual, choked, stuttering circulation of rubber and steel extends into words of war, locked in rivers of lost volition. Badgers' houses frozen in rivers' winter excess, isolate radioed news of mass resistance and inexplicable increase of dark energy hold all together in teeth of reason's climactic demands. Clogged streets resist words' trajection, then skies clear, roads empty, simple geometry of days passing, aftermath of drift, clogged streets, churned filth into frozen froth, relentless surface of doing and undoing, remembering. Would it matter that Nero burned while Rome fiddled? Who would care? Caligula calls from the wings which, suddenly airborne, swoop low over Oxtongue, scatter random diversions in wind-rippled glass, begs pardon if the lilies have been disturbed from their quiet insistence on surface. To invent empire was no mean feat. That corpuscular light flow signals inscrutable as a name for dissolving flesh. Each wave weeps, nods to death's regular appearance. Cass now gone, which blank tries to fill but fails. Her face, her voice, joys that fly, Jack said. So kiss them while you can as they flicker between layers of is, while Nero burns, Rome fiddles, and figures yield to words. Death leaves pirate utopias struggling to find a reason to proceed till wind shift promises rain, and light explains each flicker thesis roused water signals contact. However brief the flash may seem to eyes unused to seeing beyond to have. To have spells flicker's doom. End of passage leaves beauty in each turn. Split water-sculpted earth bears further signs. Implicated arousal wind dictates across follicular extent. Once again, the Black Sea at our door, called what has been, called what is called, the flame whose name, muttered by sleeping children, wakes us from dreams as stone turns to water, taking us into lost earth in child's hand, knew nothing of broken towers, banked voices slain, death of bells, and no one left to overcome money's tables in the temple, because the temple is theirs. Utopia's uncertainty deflects having hold of the human race into freeing the whales, seizing the park for music, for Festus, a zone of interminable intervals interrupt regularly scheduled program with material conducive to moose, opening the possibility of ordering that never opens but is always opening, wave within wave within wave, micro-political announcement of an arrangement of junk, those kids, NWA in the park beside the broken swings, old men in clunk-master boots with no toe, drinking E and J or Easy Jesus, 8-year-old ears alive to the sad-ass joys of Emerson's Hearth and Firkin, random flashes of water-borne light, songs angels might sing, punctuated by black pulse, fiercely flowing backside. The kiss returned as reflections to have, slides into possession, perfection's chaste but sultry promise, splayed out invitation to take it however you like it, as long as it coheres and wears white on Sunday. As the necessary figure fails to appear, leaves Blakean ambition to flop on the dock, a phrase reconstituted from physical remnants of history lodged in synaptic crevices distance. Newport Beach Pier, Saturday, dawn, beached fishing boats, lined on the sand, fish skin gleam, yellowtail, mackerel, halibut spread in dim light, salt and blood-scented air, seas crash and hissed return. Meanwhile, Blakean ambition wonders what hid it and lights out for the Republic of Sale, looking for refuge in history as narrative thickens and thins, and deferral, a.k. kicking it around the block, steps in to suggest the whole operation takes itself too seriously, given the tenuous substance of its foundation. Where the old ones went to lay low till Jehovah's predations blow over. At Machu Picchu. 1. Swarmed splendor's ancient body, driven to touch what's left behind, founded in sky-blessed earth, earth-blessed sky. What fidelity could hew stacked stones with such sure measure, mortarless, still against time's grind? No, not against it, but knows it, flows with its orders of passing and coming, welcomes blood-red begonia into ancient stones, moss and lichen harmony. Gold eyes through mist cling to ancient rock face, soars above green chaoses, order beyond orders of exclusion. Wild life yields measure meted out with clouds, love of stones, marriage with mind, fitted to knowledge of earth, staggers invaders, circumscribed, unyielding laws chiseled death. Stone by stone testifies to ardor beyond obedience, beyond disgust with flesh, claims this place on earth. Peaks jut from gash, defines the sky as partner. Clouds linger at heights so close to heart's desire to receive. Offerings touch beyond knowledge. Mind staggers at stones born to heights of such acute pitch, up knife edge to seek star meaning. The force fueled their beauty. Massive can't touch mountains whose intimate names still incite daily gestures of love, fear, adoration, awe. Living electric world sundance in and out of passing clouds, caress their face, sacred language of shadow and light. 2. Don't evade the cruelties, though measured against cross worlds. The old promise dangles between worlds, as if all that love was left to hang and rot in the sun, and only greed remained. Still, sacrificial children is hard to swallow when baptized in the living water, and vast stasis of together's massive pyramid must squash some spark whose light seems essential if you are born in its glow. The old ways knew only gods and what they required, while we know only what we see in the mirror, held backward to the world, a meager knowing, bereft of contact. How weigh small slit throats to meet God's demands for company on the journey back against those who leave to wither and die? We leave to wither and die in the desolate heat of our blind hunger knows no bounds, leaves the world a toss-up, as if measures of cruelty live only in the eyes of others, and the gods that live there exact their precise cost. 3. No wonder they tore it down wherever they found its smashed altar and temple, erased places of encountered majesty beyond their God's anger and jealousy, communion of impossible terraced devotion old ones brought to hearts who cared for stars, for sun and moon, welcomed them into households' foundation, orientation, beauty. This terrible order leaves us to mourn amid shells of nightmare conquest and the bodies piled in its wake. 4. Circumferential fissures interrupt the parade with somatic pleasure. Thrill of F's and S's softly roll over tongue's tender skin, not to mention volcanic implications of hot expulsions through cracked remains of other hardened expulsions, the edge giving way to fissures of excessive faith in rising stars. Glory intersects notched stones, arranged measure, sky order passage rooted and marked. Heart lingo announces promised turn toward turns toward. Ferns dangle down sheer faces rise to vision's vantage high, higher, scouring sun's revelations, old intentions written in stellar pattern flows, sky's language divulged to care's eyes. Pachamama's stone steps rise up and up, mountains flank, up through sparse harmony over majesty's rising ground toward God wisps among heights. Cloud-caressed peaks harbor distant valleys where the old ones wait among people who know them, honor their presence with a pinch of cocoa, utter their names in awe, harbor their knowledge of stars and earth against the coming time of fissures. You haven't really got a map, Robin brings to morning's read, along with Mom Bond's clue. She whines, and as she whines, the child's hand's burden shrinks, till the ball rests with her, accomplished, offering, winding. Gloam, wow, I actually said it, around the tower marks distant edge of world flows in, stops, and starts. These circulations through invisible highways end in dirty dishes. Talk of AA 29 living in its shadow or it in ours, depending on where you plant your mind, leaves us yet again burning like Auden's dust of Eros, scrambling to get the kids on time. And that is chapter 12. See you next time.